Genshin Impact has just passed its first anniversary, and while the celebration itself has been quite dubious so far, it's been an incredible year of characters and content. Today I want to showcase my progress from the first year. I'm going to be rambling about my favorite units and builds, and there's a lot of characters to talk about. Plus, at the end, I'll show off some more characters from my alt account. As an introduction, I want to share my experience with the game so far. Back in 2020, I was able to play in one of the PS4 betas for this game, and I was immediately sold on it. Couldn't even summon back then, but just running around the giant map was great. Since the launch of the game, I've been playing nearly every day. I did burn out on Genshin sometime around the Windbloom Festival, but that was mainly because I was grinding out on Monster Hunter Rise pretty hard at the time. Took a couple weeks break and have been continued playing since then. I have spent a decent amount of money on the game. Personally, I just buy the monthly Woken card, and I have bought most of the battle passes that came out. I feel like I get enough value from the actual materials, and I like the battle pass weapons. I did cave one time and bought the crystal currency. That was only when I was desperately trying to summon on the weapon banner, and I got incredibly lucky that it paid out. Really hard pressed to try my luck again though. Regardless, I've gotten all the characters I 100% wanted so far, so let's get into it. Okay, first off, I guess we can just start by looking at the character archive. I kind of like this because it shows sort of like how I summoned throughout the first year. You can see on the bottom right like when each character joined, and I just want to briefly go through this. I actually saved my Primogems pretty early on, but you can see I got the main free characters right at the start. I think I had Vishal and then Noelle because she was on that beginner banner, and then Chongyun, and that was basically all my 4-star characters at the time. I got Zhongli. I don't remember if I got it from the Abyss or not, and I didn't get everyone else till much later. At the time when the first banner was out, I'm guessing it was the Venti banner. My first 5-star was actually Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi definitely served me well in the early game. I know she gets a lot of flack, and for good reason, but at the very beginning of the game, Chi-Chi was incredibly useful as a very strong healer. Now, I actually didn't get my second 5-star because I saved all the way until the Zhongli came out. You can see I got him at the December 1st, and that was also when I got Keqing. On the way I had Xinyan and Diona, and my next 5-star after that wasn't until Hu Tao. Definitely wanted her, very happy with that. Didn't get Yanfei till much later. And my next 5-star after that was Eula, because I was looking for a physical damage carry. I did try to get Ayaka actually on this main account, didn't get her, hit the pity, so instead I just saved all the way up to Raiden, and that's pretty much it. Also got Sara because, you know, she was on Raiden's banner. So first off, I want to talk about some of the lesser used character or underused characters I guess I have. I guess I can show you my Traveler. I didn't really use the Traveler that much. Like, I didn't really care for the Animal or Geo Traveler that much, and I did put some time into Electro Traveler. I think I like them the most. At the moment, I'm using them just with the craftable 4-star sword from Inazuma. Kind of like this thing a lot. I want to try it out a bit more. And you can even see it from my artifacts, not really anything special. These are literally leftover pieces because I haven't spent too much time into the Traveler at all. Stuff to get that last constellation for Electro Traveler, but I did level up their talents, you know. I did give them a chance. I tried them out. They're not that bad, I think, but I definitely don't really use them that much anyways. I guess my least underused 5-star was Chi-Chi. Like I said before, you know, she was my first 5-star, so I used her in the very early game, and honestly, Chi-Chi's not a bad first 5-star to get, mainly just because having a healer makes such a huge difference in the early game Genshin. When I played the beta back then, I didn't even have Barbara, so I had no healer, and it kind of just sucks not having a healer on when you're exploring around the map. You can see I didn't even level Chi-Chi up that much. Again, I haven't really touched her since the very start of the game. At the moment, she's using the flute because it's what I got lying around, and her healing skills off of attack. For artifacts, just 2-piece Maiden, 2-piece Gladiator. Again, just leftover pieces. You can see this does not even level up because these are like recent artifacts that I've given her, but I haven't put anything really into them. For talents, just the basic level 6 on her skill and her burst. Now, for some of the less used, actually characters I don't touch at all. I don't touch Lisa or Kai on this account because when I played the beta, you know, I had to use them, Kaya, Lisa, and Amber in the Traveler. So when I when I got the full game, I was like, I want to use the shiny new gacha characters. So I haven't really touched them at all. And for Razor's pretty funny on this main account because I actually have C6 on him, and I don't touch him. But the main reason is because I use Razor on my alt account, and you know, in case something happens, you know, maybe if I do want to use him, I guess I'm prepared for that. Next, I guess we can talk about Barbara. You know, I haven't really touched Barbara that much, but she does her job. She heals. That's basically it. I used her a lot for that stupid Pyro Cube. You kind of have to. Like, I don't know if you can use anyone else really, except her and Mona. It's very annoying enemy to fight. For weapons, I'm just using the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers, not even fully leveled at all. Artifacts, 4-piece Maiden Beloved, because that's all Barbara does is heal. Constellations, I only got C2. Kinda wish I had C6 actually for the free revive, but you know, maybe one day. And then for talents, didn't even level up the burst to 6 yet. Next, I guess this is kind of a recent 4-star, Kudro Sara. Sara's weird, man. Like, she's kind of interesting as like a full-on like attack boosting support character, but her elemental skill is so weird because you have to use the elemental skill and then you have to fire an arrow off, and it's a really awkward like playstyle. Like the skill doesn't even go anywhere sometimes. Like I can't even use it as a dodge or reposition thing. Like I don't know, it's weird. I don't really use her that much, but I do want to give her some more time. Now at the moment she's using my Amos bow because I don't have any other archer that uses it, and it's just the highest attack bow I can give her. For artifacts, I have been trying out with the 4-piece emblem set, which honestly I think it's okay just to spam burst or have the burst up at any time, you know. A little extra damage, and just because when you use the burst it also procs her attack boost. For constellations, I don't have any. I wasn't that lucky on the Raiden's banner. I really wish I had C2. I think if you get C2, she becomes a much more non-clunky character. For talents, just level 6 in the scale and burst. Do need to try her out more, but at the moment, I can understand why not many people have that high opinion of her so far. I did level up Amber to level 80 just because I like messing around with Amber. You know, I don't have any other that many power characters early on, so I leveled her up for fun. I think I was using her with Wanderers, but at the moment I'm just using her as a placeholder for some Crimson Witch pieces I'm farming up. I kind of do that with a lot of the characters I don't use. I have put artifact sets that I'm currently farming on them. Again, weapon, nothing special because I'm not using her. Constellations, I almost at C4. I really want C4 on Amber, but you know, it's kind of just luck of the draw for this. You're just gonna have to get lucky to get constellations for the starter characters. Talents, I actually did level her up a little bit. But yeah, I really wish I had that extra bunny bomb for Amber. Maybe I'll give her another shot whenever that happens. For Xinyan, because I summoned on Zhongli banner really hard, I actually do have C6. And I know a lot of people don't have that high opinion of her either, but with C6 she's kind of interesting. Her charge attacks do more damage and take less stamina. And I think it's one of these, yeah, if you have C2, her burst always crits. And it will cast a shield, so that really does make her a little more useful. I know some people have some issues with her elemental skill, which procs the shield. Personally, I don't know. Personally, it seems to work for me. Like I haven't really noticed that the shield bugs out or anything, so I can't really say much about that. At the moment, not really using her with anything special. She's just holding on whatever claymore I'm not using at the time. And then for artifact sets, I was trying out Retracing Bowlight. These are not the best pieces because I swapped those out to some other units. I do want to give her a chance with something just like the full-on physical attack artifact sets, but haven't really done that. Next, while not really underused, probably my most recent character that I've been trying to work on is Noelle. I really want another shielder slash healer, and that's basically what Noelle does, only really hampered by her burst cost. At the moment, just using her with the White Blind, artifacts, or Chasing Bowline because I want a little extra damage when I use her burst. Constellations, I do not have C6. I really wish I had C6. I have a friend who does have a C6 Noelle, and it sounds like a lot of fun, but you know, I don't have that just yet. For talents, level 6 and everything. Just so, you know, when you pop the shield, you pop the burst, it gets you a little bit of healing. At least I have C1 for that. It does make her feel a little better, but yeah, at the moment, I don't know. Still waiting a bit on some, hopefully some extra constellations in the future. Alright, I guess next we can talk about my most used units, which are the 5 stars I summoned because I really wanted these characters. First we gotta talk about Zhongli. Now I wanted him since the very start, you know, since the or since when I played the beta, I actually was able to play the story quest a new way. So I was like, I really hope this guy's a character, and lo and behold, he was a character. At the very start, Zhongli was not that great. Like, he had a shield, and then he had his very cool burst, which I love a lot. You can see him for talents. I have level 10 in the meteor and level 8 in the shield. I invested a lot into the meteor or the burst because I use Zhongli as my burst support. Basically, I just like sending out big damage meteors all the time, and he has a very short cooldown. I actually did get C1. Again, I was saving my Primogems all the way back then, so I kind of splurged on his banner and was able to get a second copy, luckily. It's not too crazy, but you know, having 2 pillars on the field is definitely a lot nicer than 1. For weapons, you can see I'm using the Deathmatch, which is the Battle Pass porn, because it has a ridiculous 36% crit rate. Again, I just care about the fat meteors coming down from the sky. And then for artifacts, I'm using 2 Piece Noblesse, 2 Piece Archaic Petra for the max amount of burst damage. Now you can see my artifacts here. I have some pretty decent pieces for some of these. I switched over to HP Sand since he got his buffs, which now gives him extra damage, which is off of his max HP. I was running an attack one before, but I swapped over to HP. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, and I get a fatter shield. Really happy with this, how this Geo Cup turned out. Pretty good, not perfect, but pretty solid. And then I am running a crit damage circlet, not the best substats, but again, I just care about the actual crit damage stat. You can see my total stats. 83% crit rate, a little bit overkill you may say, but I want that meteor to crit every single time. 140% crit damage. Not too much energy recharge, you don't need that much with Zhongli because his burst is only 40. And then geo damage, a bunch of geo damage for a bunch of damage when the meteor lands on people. Very fun unit. Next up we have Hu Tao. Hu Tao is the second, or I guess the second main 5-star I tried to go for. She's a pretty cool unit. Here we can look at what I'm running. You can see I have the Staff of Homa. This is the one time I tried to summon on a weapon banner and I got so lucky. The main reason I went to go for Staff of Homa was because I had some extra Primogems left and it was paired with the Wolf Gravestone Claymore. So that was a decent contributing factor why I tried. I didn't get Staff of Homa on the first 2 5-star weapons, so I resorted to single summons and I got it very luckily. And since then it's been like, I don't know, weapon banners are not very enticing to me personally. I don't spend enough money for that. For artifact sets, I'm running Retracing Bowlight mainly because she's glued to Zhongli most of the time. I know most people run the 4-piece Crimson Witch, I believe, just for max damage, and I have been trying to farm another Crimson Witch set. I do want to try that out, but at the very start of the time, I had some pretty good Retracing Bowlight pieces, so that's what I went with. Again, extra stronger shield so she doesn't die because Hu Tao gets a bit low when you use her elemental skill. Yeah, pretty much standard stuff right here. No constellations. For talents, I did crown the normal attack and then level 8 in both of the other skills. Let's see for final stats. 54% crit rate, could be better. Definitely noticeable because basically just banking on crits every other hit, but I do have a very fat 215% crit damage, and it's a bit ridiculous when you crit with a charge attack on, like, when you get like a vape proc with it. It is a little ridiculous. Not too concerned with injury recharge, but still good to have. Extra shield strength again from the Bowlight set, and then pyro damage bonus. I guess next I should talk about Keqing. Oh man, I have Keqing. If you follow me on Twitter, I have a very storied history about Keqing, mainly complaining, only because I have C3. And I thought C6 for 5-star characters in this game was like whale territory, but here I am halfway there, and it is a bit ridiculous. I just keep getting Keqing on pity breakers, and while I do like Keqing, she's very flashy, she's very fun. I wish I got some other 5-star characters, and it's just a bit ridiculous at this rate, you know. Maybe by the end of the second year, I'll be finished with C6. At the moment, I've given her a decent amount of investment because I feel like the game's telling me to use her. I've been using Keqing with the Black Sword, which is the Battle Pass sword, again, for crit rate mainly, but it has a pretty good passive too. Increased normal and charge attacks, which Keqing does a lot. For artifacts, going with the very simple 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Gladiator, so you can see what I have right here. Going with crit damage because I have a crit rate weapon, electro damage, attack, and then the flower and the plume. Nothing too special. For talents, I did crown her normal attacks. Didn't even need to crown the burst to get to level 11 because of constellations. Jesus. You can see total stats right here. 60, pretty healthy, 60% crit rate. She does get extra crit rate after you activate the burst, so not too concerned with that. Pretty good amount of crit damage. So some energy recharge. Again, she doesn't need that much either. And 61% electro damage bonus. Next, let's talk about Eula. Eula was pretty, she's definitely very impressive. I was looking for a physical damage carry. I got a physical damage nuke instead. For her weapons, I've been using the Wolf Gravestone because, again, that's what I got when I was going for Staff of Homeless, so it worked out in the end, but still, you know, I basically just got very lucky on that weapon banner. For artifact sets, just going with the 4-piece Pale Flame. It's kind of made for Eula, I would say, because when you proc her skill and then you proc her burst, the burst resets the skill, so you can use the skill again immediately after. And you can just see the pretty standard artifact substats. 24% defense, you know, very useful. Very useful. For constellations, talents, level 10 in the normal attack, and then level 8 in the skill and burst. Let's see total stats. Now, pretty good, pretty decent, I think. 55% crit rate without a crit weapon, and then 120% crit damage, 121% energy recharge. A little low for Eula. Her burst is very costly. I'm not too concerned about spamming it, but you definitely want it up whenever you can. And then 83% physical damage, because that's what she does. She auto attacks. Her burst does physical damage, and I do like her having running around with Eula because she does a lot of damage just with normal attacks, and it's very fun. Now, my most recent 5-star is Raiden Shogun A. I actually do pair the Shogun with Eula a lot. They go very well together, in fact, so that worked out quite nicely. For weapons, I've just been using the Catch, which is from the fishing event or mechanic, I guess, now in the game. I believe it's here to stay, so you can always get this weapon up to refinement 5. Very strong on the Shogun. For artifact sets, going with the full-on energy recharge emblem set. I have a lot of energy recharge on this lady, and she does, it's been going pretty well, I would say. Crit rate circlet, attack, goblet, because she gets a ton of electro damage based on her energy recharge stat. Also one with attack sands, and then everything else, I'm just trying to get as much crit rate energy recharge as I can. Pretty happy with how the artifacts turned out for the Shogun. For talents, I did basically have been spending as all the materials we've gotten so far from farming the recent boss. So level 10 in the burst, level 8 in the talent. Haven't spent too much in normal attacks. Let's see total stats. 56% crit rate. Again, that goes a bit higher with the Catch when I'm in the burst form. 92% crit damage, not that high, but that's alright. Energy recharge, 252%. You could say it's a bit overkill, but it's worked out quite nicely, I think, for me. I'm not trying to min-max exactly, so you know, if it's overkill, it's alright. And she gets 60% electro recharge just from that. Again, I'm not running an electro cup. That's just because of one of her passives. It's a bit ridiculous. Alright, last I got the 4-star characters that I actually do use pretty often. Like, I use basically all of these characters I have starred right here. We can start with Ningguang first. I do like her a lot. Geo carry, very fun unit. At the moment, I have her with the Dodoko Tails. However, for the most part, I've been using her with the Widsit. The Widsit is a ridiculous tome. I don't know. I think it's just because the crit damage it's just a little ridiculous. For artifacts, I've just been using 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Petra. Again, very basic, more geo damage. Constellations, I do have up to C6. I think C2 is pretty important. You get the reset on the screen. Very handy constellation. And then for talents, level 7, level 8, and then level 8 with the constellation. I actually like Ningguang a lot. I haven't been using her recently, but she's a very solid character. Let's see his stats real quick. 50% crit rate, 117% crit damage, which could be higher with the Wizard equipped, some energy recharge, and then geo damage. Next we got Chong Yun. I think Chong Yun is probably my favorite 4-star in the game. He's just a very smooth character. I like how smooth all his skills work together. The skill from normal attacks into the burst, it's very enjoyable. Now at the moment, I did farm up the recent Tuna Claymore. This thing is ridiculous. I don't know if it's his best weapon, but it is pretty funny on him because it does increase elemental burst damage a bit, and it also summons a bunch of fish. I thought it would be a gigantic tuna that it would summon, but it's not a gigantic fish. A little disappointing on that part, but you know, I think you can get the refinement materials from this current event, so I'll try to see how that works out at the end. Usually if I'm not using the tuna, I use him with the serpent spine, but it just depends like who I'm using. Also interesting, I have a refinement 5 lithic blade, which is again when I was trying to summon for Staff of Homu. If you didn't know, this is a gacha only 4-star weapon that boosts crit rate and attack depending on how many characters from Liyue you have, so it's a kind of an interesting weapon depending on your team comp. For artifacts, not really happy with the 4-piece Blizzard Destroyer. I was testing it out, just trying to see how he would do with Mono Cryo, but I think I'm definitely gonna change it out, probably to just the very boring 2-piece Blizzard, 2-piece like some attack boosting set. Maybe I'll try out Noblesse. I don't know. His burst, Chongyu's burst does so much damage. It's very, very satisfying to watch those swords fly down. And I do have C6 on him. C6 is pretty good if you're focusing on burst. And since I have the Tuna Claymore now, I might just go all in on that. So we'll see how that changes in the future. For talents, I have leveled up all his talents to level 8. One of my favorite 4-star characters. I do want to make him better though. Next we got Sucrose. You can see I have no animal characters at all, unless if I don't run the Animal Traveler. My singular animal character is Sucrose on my main account, which is kind of sad. I wish I got Kazuha or someone. And I was trying to go for Sayu, but I found out that Raiden was coming after Ayaka, so I kind of just canned that idea. Hopefully I can get Sayu later on, but at the moment Sucrose is about it. Now Sucrose, pretty impressive with some constellations, I have to say. I didn't use her that much early on until I was like, I have no animal characters, so if I want the 4-piece Viridescent Vanilla, the elemental resistance shred, I kind of need to build her up, and that's what I did. For weapons using the sacrificial fragments, this thing is OP if you can get the Constellation 1, I believe, which gives you an extra charge on your elemental skill. It's definitely makes Sucrose a lot better, and I even have C6 on her, so she's pretty good. I haven't been using her that much recently, but you know, very handy to have, I guess you could say. Let's see for talents. Pretty much normal, 6 and everything. You can see stats, nothing too special. Wish I had more energy recharge. I didn't think I showed Chongyun's stats. Let's see. Kind of low crit rate because I was using the Blizzard Destroyer set, but probably gonna have to change that out. 61% crowd damage. Alright, moving on. Diona. Diona's pretty good as an all-around support character. I do like her a lot. Again, I'm always on the lookout for more shielders after getting to use Zhongli's, so Diona fits that bill. At the moment, I've been using her with the sacrificial bow. I feel like I don't really use her effectively with this weapon. I don't know, I'm probably doing something wrong. And then for artifacts, you can ignore the 2-piece Blizzard Destroyer. I was trying to test her out, see how much crowd damage she can do with her ult and stuff, but it's not that impressive, so I definitely need to swap that out. 2-piece Millilith for extra HP. Probably just gonna swap this out to probably the healing artifact set. You know, I don't really need anything fancy. I just want to focus more on his shield at the most part. I do have C1. C1's pretty nice. You get extra energy for the burst. And then for talents, you can see I did focus a lot on the elemental skill and the burst, just for shielding and healing. I guess you can see stats. I don't know what I have exactly. 140% energy recharge, some crowd damage again because of the Blizzard Destroyer, but I need to change that out for sure. Next we got Fischl. Fischl was another one of my early 4-star characters, and Fischl's great. I like Fischl a lot. She's pretty OP, I guess you would say. For weapons, we're using her with the Stringless. Again, increases her burst and skill, which is kind of what all official does. For artifacts, I've been running 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Thundering Fury because Electro doesn't have that many crazy artifact sets. Constellations, I do have C6 for it. Oh my god. I thought people were joking or like over exaggerating the Constellation 6 for official, but this thing is so busted. Like it's kind of ridiculous how many attacks Oz does when you have Constellation 6. Very happy to have that. And for talents, just level 6 and everything, nothing too special. Let's see for stats. Pretty good stats I think I have on official. 55% crit rate, some crit damage, some energy recharge, and then electro damage. Alright, let's move on. Beto, the other Electro 4-star. Let's see. Beto's pretty fun. I like her countering elemental skill. Hopefully more characters come out with something like her play style. She's very fun. For weapons, Serpent Spine, but again, kind of just trade off with whatever Claymore I got lying around. Artifacts, again, 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Gladiators. I do not have many good Thundering Fury sets, and I do not like farming that domain, but I really need to farm that domain a bit more. Constellations, I have up to C4. I think it's C2. This is a really good constellation to have if you like her burst. Her burst does a lot of damage if it gets to chain off other targets. C4 is kind of interesting. I guess if you use Beto as a main character, I don't know. She kind of splits her damage, I guess, if you run her as a main carry. I'm not too sure how that works out, but I may just use her to have around for fun, big, fat counter attacks and then the burst damage. You can see for Constellation, level 6, nothing too fancy. See for stats. Pretty high crit rate because of the Serpent Spine, some crit damage, energy recharge, and then electro damage. Next we got Xingqiu. You can also see I do not have a lot of Hydro characters. In fact, literally Barbara and Xingqiu, that's it. And if you're like me and that's all you have, this guy has been carrying this element the whole year. He's so OP. Like his burst is so strong. Just to apply Hydro onto anything, pair him up with Hu Tao a lot, even though it's not perfect, but you know, I just like running that. Also pair him up with a lot of other characters. He's just that versatile, I guess you could say. Of course, I'm running him with the Sacrificial Sword. I'm lucky to have Refinement 4 on this one. Works very effective since his elemental skill hits 2 times. For artifacts, I've just been going with the 4-piece Noblesse. However, I don't know. I'm not really using him for the attack boost, or I don't really care that much, to be honest. So maybe I'll try a more damaging set in the future. For constellations, I do have C4. C4 is pretty good. You get the you get extra damage on the elemental skill after you pop the burst, and boy does that thing do a lot of damage if it crits. I really wish I had C6. Hopefully I can get that in the future though. For talents, I do have level 8 in his skill and his burst. Again, the burst is very, very strong. I was actually running a crit damage circlet on Xingqiu, which I should be running crit rate, I think, but you can see from stats, 35% crit rate, not very impressive, but 140% crit damage. So boy, when his elemental skill does crit, it is very noticeable. It's kind of ridiculous. Pretty good amount of energy recharge. Hopefully, get that a bit higher, but I'm happy with it at the moment. And then Hydro damage, 66%. Let's see. Next we got Yanfei. Yanfei is one of the more recent characters I've gotten. She's very cool. She's basically what I've always wanted from a mage character in this game, kind of like Ningguang. But I think her charge attack from her autos is much more smoother, which does feel good to play, and her attacks track, so that's very good. Especially if I use her with Fischl a lot just for overload, and even though the enemies go flying, her attacks still track, which is very nice. Currently, I've been using her with the Witsit. Originally, I was using her with Dodoko Tails, but I think the Witsit's ridiculous amount of crit damage is just too strong. I don't know. I can swap off between these at any time. For artifacts, I've been using 4-piece Wanderer's Troop just because I wanted to use this set because no one else uses it. It's okay. It does give her more charge attack damage. However, I am also trying to farm a Crimson Witch set for Yanfei, kind of like Hu Tao. Hopefully I can get that going in the future, but for now, Wanderers is okay, nothing too crazy. Constellations, I was lucky enough to get C2 or C2. This one's pretty good. C1's also pretty good. You use less stamina. And for talents, I actually went for level 8 in normal attack, and then just level 6 in the skill and burst. Let's see stats. 55% crit rate, 165% crit damage because of the Widset. Some energy recharge, and then Pyro. I've also been using Yanfei with the Shogun. That's another pretty fun combo for her pretty high burst cost. Let's see. Next we got Bennett. Bennett is OP. I think everyone knows this. Like, so when I was playing the beta, I couldn't summon, so I wasn't able to try Bennett at all. But back in the early game and in the beta, everyone said Bennett was garbage. And then come the game's launch, and it's like, I don't know what you people were thinking, because Bennett's OP. Bennett is insane. The true 6-star pyro icon for sure. Like, I don't know how they're gonna power creep this guy. He is so strong. I should have him at level 90, but I'm lazy, and he kind of just does. I don't know. Bennett does his job no matter what. At the moment, I've been running him with the Festering Desire from the Dragon Spine event. More energy recharge and a little extra damage when I use this skill. For artifacts, of course, 4-piece Noblesse, more attack. For constellations, I have C2. Pretty sure C1 is the one you want, though, for sure. Let's see, talents. Level 8 in the burst, level 6 in the skill. I do like having fun with the skill. It's pretty funny when you get the last charge and everyone just goes flying. For artifacts, I've done some weird stuff with Bennett. Normal, you can see nothing special there, but for the sands, I went energy recharge. The goblet, I went with power damage, and for the circlet, I went crit rate, just for some fun damage boost when I pop his burst. You know, I think most people go for like either healing bonus or HP percent, because that increases how much healing he does. But I was like, Bennett heals so fast and so much already that I wanted to have more damage, just because Bennett's on the field a decent amount. So you can see my stats: 44% crit rate, some crit damage, 250% energy recharge. Oh my goodness, having up his burst at all times is just really nice. And then some pyro damage because you're spamming his skill a good amount. Bennett's crazy. I think everyone knows that though. Now last is Xiangling. Also crazy. Honestly, I didn't touch her that much. I thought she was kind of, I don't know. I think I got to try her in the beta. I don't remember, but I know she was, I remember thinking she was strong. So I don't know. I didn't think she was that strong though, now that everyone's gotten to use her more. At the moment, I've been using her just with I've been trying her out with the new craftable 4-star spear from Inazuma. I kind of like this thing. Some energy recharge on the passive, and then for the substats, elemental mastery, which is pretty nice for some reaction damage. Artifacts, I do have the 4-piece crimson on one character, finally. Very nice on Xiangling. Constellations, lucky enough to have C6. C4 is probably the most important one. Holy cow, this thing is so strong. I think her burst lasts for like 10 seconds or something, so with this constellation it goes up to 14. It's ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness. You can see here, level 6. I should farm these out to level 8 at least though, or at least the burst. The burst is so powerful. Like, everyone's learned that Xiangling does ridiculous DPS, and yeah, very strong 4-star character. Now, I know this has been a long video, but I do want to cover some of the characters on my alt account, because I do have some different characters that are very good and very fun to use. You can see a lot more under-leveled characters on this alt account. I don't go that hard on it. You can see I don't have too many people leveled up. I really need to level up Fisher though. I don't have a lot of electro characters on this account. Some carryover from 4 stars. I definitely use Diona, Xingqiu, Ningguang, Xiangling, and Bennett a lot still. They're just that good characters. You can see on my alt account, I have leveled up Lisa and Kaya. For Lisa, not doing anything too special. I've been trying out with the craftable catalyst. It's okay. Artifact sets, I'm not really sure what to do with here. I've just been running with the 4-piece Thundering Fury set. I only have C1 for constellations, nothing too special there. Talents, again, nothing special. Let's see for stats. 38% crit rate, 80% crit damage, some energy recharge, and then electro damage. What about Kaya? For Kaya, I've been trying him out with the physical damage build with Blizzard Strayer, the 4-piece set. I haven't invested that hard into him, and it's okay. You can see I do have C1, which does add more crit rate when enemies have cryo, so going really hard on the Blizzard Strayer playstyle. For talents, just level 6 and everything. Let's see for stats. Not a lot of crit rate, but again, it's because Kai's getting a crap ton of crit rate if the enemy has cryo on them or if they're frozen. Have a lot of crit damage, some energy recharge, and then physical damage, I believe. Yep. Next, I guess next 4-star I want to talk about is Razor. So Razor, I actually do have Razor leveled up on this account, and it's because he was one of the first characters I got early on, and I was using him as my main carry basically back then. Level 90, using him with the Battle Pass Serpent Spine. I have bought the Battle Pass a couple times for my alt account. That's about it though. For artifacts, just went with the 4-piece gladiators, nothing too fancy there. Constellations, I do have C2, no C6 on this account. And then for talents, level 8 on the normal attacks. And then some points into a skill and burst. Let's see for stats. Crit rate, pretty high. Crit damage, not that high. It's okay though. For energy recharge, do have some of that. And then again, physical damage on the comp I have for him. Let's see. Next, I want to talk about the new 4-stars, not on my main. I do have Rosaria. Rosaria is pretty fun. Previously, I was trying her out with the Crescent Pike, again, trying a physical damage setup, but I swapped over to Favonius Lance to focus more on just having her burst up a lot for more off-field cryo application. I was using Blizzard Strayer, again, similar idea to Kaya, but I might have to change this out. For constellations, I did get C1 recently, so you know, maybe I'll try the physical damage set again, because this increases her attack speed and normal attack damage. Let's see for talents, just level 6 and level 5 in the burst. Probably should get that leveled up. Let's see for stats real quick. 41% crit rate, 70% crit damage, some energy recharge, and then again, cryo damage. I swapped over from physical damage. Next 4-star, I did get Sayu on this account. Sayu is really fun. Her elemental skill just lets her roll around. it's really entertaining. I really wish the elemental skill lets you like roll off a cliff or something. That'd be so fun. But yeah, Genshin's not that robust in the physics engine department. Burst is pretty fun. For Sayu's burst, I do have C1. So that allows the burst to heal and attack. I think that's pretty important if you're gonna try to get her and use her. Artifacts, 4-piece Viridescent, and I'm trying to get her Elemental Mastery pieces. Gosh, I think Elemental Mastery might be one of the worst things to farm for artifacts. I can't get one in the Goblet section, so you know, I'm just using animal damage. That's what I got at the moment. For weapons, using the Sacrificial Greatsword, for the chance to reset the cooldown on her spin. And then for attributes, let's check out the stats. Not a lot of crit rate, don't care too much about that. Good amount of energy recharge, wish it was higher. And then the animal damage, although I'd probably try to go with the triple elemental mastery setup. You can see I have 443 elemental mastery at the moment, not too bad. Now let's talk about my 5-star, or I guess pseudo 5-star or 5-star, Aloy. Aloy is going to be available for everyone in the next update, but I did get her for this account because I linked it to a PSN account. So for Aloy, she's cryo bow user. I've been using her with the sacrificial bow, but I do think for my main account, I'm going to try her out with the stringless bow for more skill and burst damage. That's kind of what she does. Her burst is sort of like a nuke, kind of like Zhongli, or it's just a big damage of cryo. Let's see. Artifacts, I've been running with 2-piece Blizzard Strayer, 2-piece Gladiator, nothing fancy there. No, she has no constellations, I don't think they're going to add any. So what she got is what you get. For talents, gave her a fair shot, level 6 in her skill and burst. She does auto attack a bit, like if when we throw the elemental skill, it deploys mines on the field, and if enough enemies hit the mines, then Aloy infuses her auto attacks with cryo damage. So it's kind of interesting. She's definitely not like a cryo Yoimiya or anything, but you know, maybe it's something you could try to build around. Let's see for stats. Good amount of crit rate, some crit damage, energy recharge. You don't need too much, I think. She has a very short cooldown burst, or what do you call it? Low energy cost burst, and then some cryo damage. Next 5-star, let's talk about Jean. Jean's really fun. Been using her with the Festering Desire, trying to pump up her elemental skill damage. I use Jean sort of like a bursty DPS. I basically just swap her in, use her elemental skill, or use the burst to heal. You can see for talents, level 8, level 7 in the burst. She's a really fun unit. She kind of can do anything. She can slot her into any team. For artifacts, I'm running her with the 4-piece Viridescent set. Animal damage, some crit rate attack, nothing too fancy. I think her healing does scale with attack. Let's see, attributes. Good amount of crit rate, some crit damage, a bunch of energy recharge. Definitely like having that heal button up as much as I can get. And then more energy or animal damage. Other 5-star from the starters, I do have Mona on this account. I also have C1 Mona, which I don't think is that crazy, but you know, more damage. For Mona, I tried to see if I could use her normal attacks, sort of like a DPS Hydro Catalyst user, but you know, kinda gave up on that idea. So more recently, I've just been focusing on her burst, more for try to have it up as much as possible, which is why I've gone with the 4-piece Emblem set from Inazuma. Very fun, or very happy with that. Let's see, energy recharge, Hydro damage, and then crit rate. Weapon going with the Favonius Codex, mainly for the energy recharge and more energy generation. You can see for stats, 50% crit, some crit damage, a bunch of energy recharge. Again, I like having her burst up as much as possible. It's definitely interesting. I do like it a lot. Next 5-star. Let's talk about Ganyu. Ganyu is straight up busted. If you haven't been playing this game for very long, whenever Ganyu gets a rerun, it is going to be pandemonium. Everyone is going to be trying to get this lady. I do have the Almost Bow, which is one of the main reasons I tried to get Ganyu back then. I think it's one of her best weapons, just a crap ton of base attack. For artifacts, I know you can go with the Elemental Mastery for some more melt damage, but Ganyu is so busted, even with just I'm just using her with the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, so when I do apply Cryo on the enemy, she gets more crit rate, and she already gives crit rate from one of her passive talents, which is absurd. So yeah, Ganyu is just crazy. You do the charge attacks for like 30k damage, and it's like that's more damage than some of my characters' bursts, okay. And then even Ganyu's burst itself is really good. I don't really have problems with you know, with cooldown or uptime. Honestly, she's just a really powerful character, and if you care about meta at all in this game, I would recommend getting her whenever she comes back around. You can see for stats, not the highest crit rate. Again, she gets extra crit rate after you fire one charge attack, so and that's why I'm mostly running Blizzard Strayer. I've been trying her out in the Morgana comp with Mona, so that works out pretty well. A lot of crit damage, some energy recharge, and then of course bonus cryo damage from the cup. Just an amazing 5-star character. Next 5-star I got was Yoimiya. I know a lot of people dunked on Yoimiya, and I gave her a fair shot. Level 90. I've been using her with the Battle Pass bow for crit rate. Artifacts, I have been trying out the Shiminawa set, which is when you use the skill, you take some of your energy, but you get 50% more normal charged and plunging attack damage, which is kind of what Yoimiya does. She's kind of like a bow version of Hu Tao. You pop her elemental skill, and then you just do a bunch of cryo-infused auto attacks. Now, my main complaint about Yoimiya is definitely her burst. So I feel like her playstyle is supposed to be you use the elemental skill, you do her auto attacks, and then at the end of that, you're supposed to pop the burst, which is supposed to leave a mark on enemies, and your ally or your other characters can attack it to pop the mark. Except the burst does like no damage. It does not do a lot of damage, nor does it last very long, in my opinion. So in recent times, I've literally just been ignoring it, which I don't think is a great sign of anything. Yeah, I don't know. I hopefully if they ever change Yoimiya, the burst gets some changes, because it is not great in my opinion. For crit rate, 61%, 130% crit damage, 141% energy recharge, which is useless because I'm not using the burst anymore, and then some pyro damage. Honestly, I think Yoimiya is not bad. Obviously, I think the bigger issue is the targeting system with your bow characters, but that's I don't know if they're ever gonna add like some kind of targeting system in the future. We'll see about that. Last 5-star, most recent one I got is Kokomi. Maybe even more flack than Yoimiya. So for people who've been saying about Kokomi, she's kind of supposed to be like a healer slash, I guess, sub DPS type unit. I don't know. I've been trying her out. I don't have everything fully leveled up. I don't really have a great catalyst for her. Just been using the prototype Amber. Maybe I could try her out with the one of the prototype ones. But I've been using the prototype Amber because it gives extra HP. For artifacts, these are literally leftover pieces I had on Mona from the Heart of Depth set, which increases her normal attacks and charge attack damage after you use her skill. You can see not even fully leveled up. I do want a healing bonus on the circlet. For talents, not fully leveled up yet. Gotta work on that. Kokomi's weird. I think she's okay, but I don't like how you don't reposition the skill. Because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put the skill out, which is like the jellyfish, and then eventually you can pop the burst, which refreshes the duration on the skill. However, you can't move the skill, so it's stuck where it is the whole time. And then while you're in burst form, you use auto attacks, and that heals your party, kind of like with Barbara. I don't know. I mean, I think damage is okay for being not leveled up fully, but yeah, I don't know. I think Kokomi is okay if you just need someone to apply Hydro off the field. Interestingly, I've been using her a lot with like Ganyu and Mona for the Morgana comp. So basically, you just perma-freeze everything with Cryo and Hydro. It's kind of interesting for the overworld, but I'm not too sure how this would work in Abyss and whatnot, because you do need those other elements for shields and whatnot. Overall, I still need to use her a bit more, but yeah, I understand the complaints about Kokomi so far. I could talk so much more about some of these characters, but this video is long enough as is. To close things out, I just want to chat about some other Genshin topics. First, what are my thoughts on the anniversary? Well, if you played the game, you definitely have seen the community is just up in arms about the rather lackluster rewards. In fact, as I was recording this, MiHoYo has already given out extra unannounced rewards, including a glider, and that was supposed to be part of a paid bundle, so it's clear that this is a damage control situation now. Personally, I am disappointed that there's not much more else going on for the anniversary, considering how big Genshin's been. I will say that the current event is really neat though. I like that they're getting more of the cast to interact with each other. Now, besides that, it seems like all the anniversary celebration was supposed to be was the login bonus, and that is disappointing. 10 summons is nothing insane, and honestly, the amount of Mora weapon XP crystals and purple level up books they're giving out is rather insulting for a quote-unquote anniversary celebration. Like, 18 weapon crystals is nothing in this game. I know they don't want to hand out 90 free summons or whatever, but there's other ways to give rewards. They could have handed out like a million more, and that would not kill the economy or anything. Personally, I'm also disappointed that there's no special banners in a gacha game. It really does not help. The current new character that just came out is getting completely shit on by everybody. I would kill for a Diluc banner or something, or they could have just done like a special banner for the launch 5 stars that maybe people didn't get a chance to get. Additionally, I'm baffled as to the lack of new outfits slash skins. You're telling me that this game only released 2 character skins in 1 whole year. Surely it takes less resources to make outfits for characters, and I would love to buy a special anniversary outfit if it was one of my favorite characters. From the very beginning, I thought they were going to go with a smaller cast of gacha characters, then they would add skins for those existing characters, kind of like how Arknights does it. They would sort of take the place of alts in a game, say like Fae or Precone. I know Genshin is 3D and much more involved and complicated, but it's definitely been another one of my concerns for this game. Basically, it's the question of how much quality content can they keep putting out. Genshin is insanely content heavy just in terms of exploration and story, but it definitely takes a lot of development time. I have to feel like the lackluster anniversary could just be because they spent so much time on Inazuma. Again, it's incredible and insane just that they're putting out 3 new explorable areas in 3 straight updates, and you have to add the new gacha characters on top of that and all the story and whatnot. Genshin is very much in a unique situation, but I'm hoping the devs don't burn out themselves. They basically have zero competition as a free game that offers what they offer, but boy, they need to do something to keep the casual crowd happy. You know, it is getting a little out of hand. Now, to be a little less depressing, I want to share which character I would like the most that I don't have still. For me, since the beta, it's always been Diluc. Man, he's just so fun and flashy. I love his elemental skill, and I love me some Claymore characters. Another fun character I would love to get is Kazuha. Now it may just be because I only have one animal character on my main account, but his elemental skill is also super satisfying to use. It really surprised me just how smooth it flows and whatnot. Please feel free to tell me who's been your favorite characters to use so far and which character you wished you had. And the next update should be coming, or Toma should be coming, and I've got my sights set on getting him. Hopefully I can score some constellations on the side. I think that's going to be about it though. This has been an extremely long chat, but I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.